So what is Papa Maniacs? We're back again with another reaction video, guys. Look, what about you checking out a video, man? Checking out Akon's building his own 6 billion mega city. We already knew he was building his mega city, but we ain't checked out no videos with details. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the details. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Wakanda will no longer watch from the shadows. We cannot.
Oh, they would add the Black Panther in the
We
beginning.
must not.
For the first time in history, two worlds are combining. Fiction is becoming reality. We've all heard of Wakanda, the beautiful city, the heart of Africa from the Black Panther comics and film. We were all mesmerized by its strong culture and unique design. However, as impressive as it was, Wakanda remained a fictional creation. A little more than another genius thought from the mind of Stan Lee. But now, thanks to one rich revolutionary rapper, Wakanda is being brought to life. With a multi-billion-dollar budget, Akon's new so-called Solar City will drive the African economy, amaze Marvel fans, and pay tribute to Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman.
Yo, that's fire. But I did hear like something about the Chinese is paying for it or something. I don't know.
All at once. Before too long, well, I'll be screaming, "Wakanda forever!" So, what would a real-life Wakanda actually look like? Allow us to take you on an imaginative journey through the glass-laden utopian megacity in the making. The stunning renderings that have already been released make Solar City, better known as Akon City, appear as a
Solar City,
futuristic
Akon
oasis
City.
for the wealthy. But it's not exclusively for the wealthy or tourists for that matter. Above all else, Akon, the mastermind behind the entire operation, wants this city to be the pathway to a new and improved world, with immense benefits for the locals. What's your first impression of the buildings? Unique?
I'm moving there.
Certainly. But there's a good reason for their interesting shapes. Lead architect Hussein Bakri takes inspiration from African sculptures, a nod to the wonderful, thriving local culture that Akon wants thrust into the spotlight.
That's fire.
Akon made this clear, telling the architect that he needed, quote, a building that looks like a statue that you can take home, like real African sculptures that they make in the villages. As we tour through the city of tomorrow, we'll be able to pass through hotels, residential properties, a university, hospitals, leisure centers, a casino, movie studios, a police station, a school, parks, shopping centers, and even the city's very own stadium. Basically all of the building blocks for a thriving modern civilization. Once completed, the area won't just be a local icon, but a worldwide beacon for magnificent innovation. In addition to the city's projected population of 300,000, which is about the same size as Pittsburgh, uncapped internationals will have the opportunity to fly into Akon City's very own airport and see the sparkling city for themselves.
That's fire.
The singer has already declared his intentions on social media. Looking forward to hosting you there in the future. While the glass and steel-rich building designs are eye-catching without a doubt, they've drawn some criticism. Why? Because the local climate is exceptionally dry and hot, and huge windows tend to invite uncomfortable heat. Thankfully, there is a simple solution for this.
Tinted window.
Air conditioning. Powering the climate control won't drain as much energy as you'd think, thanks to one particular design feature. Akon City is expected to be entirely solar-powered. Say
fire.
goodbye to traditional electricity grids. It sounds like a monumental and foreign challenge for a musician, but in reality, there couldn't be a better person for the job. The R&B singer already is an expert in the solar power field. He owns and runs Akon Lighting Africa, which provides solar power to a long list of countries throughout the continent. The visuals and the mechanics of the anticipated city are impressive. However, just as intriguing is the way that the society is proposed to operate. Out with cash and away with traditional banks. Akon City economy will be built entirely on an app-based cryptocurrency. The name? Go ahead, take a guess.
Akon coin.
Yep. Acoin. While some considered the notion far-fetched, the singer-turned-businessman is pushing the idea forward as a way to bring more freedom to residents of Senegal and wider Africa. He views blockchain and crypto as the potential savior for Africa in many ways because it brings power back to the people. Blockchain offers a more secure currency that enables people in Africa to advance themselves independent of the government. The numbers are in Akon's
So
corner.
I don't know if y'all know this, but like Bitcoin or any type of cryptocurrency that's why people can use it on the dark web, because it's something that really, I guess, can't be tracked by the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna know that you purchased something or the purchases are there, but it's like it's not, the government can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? The government has no control over it. So basically, that's why Kanye is gonna be using that cryptocurrency.
As well.
That's fire.
6 of the 10 fastest growing world economies are in Africa, with the World Economic Forum projecting that the continent's consumers will spend $2 trillion by 2025. More than 60% of people in Africa are under 25 years old and do not use a traditional bank and heavily rely on mobile phones for daily tasks. This means that Akon could easily penetrate the population and spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
Think of the cryptocurrency's debut in Akon City as a test run, with the end goal to spread it across the continent. It's a wild and fascinating idea that could revolutionize the way of life in West Africa. It could propel Senegal onto the center stage to compete with the African tourist heavy hitters like Morocco, Egypt, and South Africa. But where does such a spectacular idea come from? You'd expect for Akon to have a clear connection and inspiration for developing his own city, and he absolutely does. While born in the US, Akon spent his earlier years in Senegal before eventually moving to Union City in New Jersey as a 7-year-old. He wants to go back to his roots and see his childhood environment thrive to its full potential. With a net worth of $80 million and a long list of high-profile, deep-pocketed investors in his Rolodex, his dedicated efforts can go a long way to making that happen. Akon also cited the experiences of African Americans, particularly the events of 2020, as his inspiration. He wanted not only to create an upscale refuge for African Americans, but to provide a means for anyone interested to connect their history and ancestry on a deeper level.
That's me. I'm first one on the plane, you hear me? I'm in there.
While the physical construction in Senegal would result in a loss of farming land, in the long run, Akon is confident that the amount of jobs created would be of far greater benefit. He's already promised to provide local workers with adequate training and pay them, verbatim, as much as I can. Okay, so the driving force behind Akon City comes from his hope to grow the West African economy, yet the inspiration for the physical design stems from another source, one that all Marvel fans will know all too well. Yep, the fictional African nation from the award-winning Black Panther film. The official Akon City website describes itself as a real-life Wakanda, and it's not hard to see why, with the towering skyscrapers and state-of-the-art tech closely resembling the setting in Ryan Coogler's cinematic masterpiece. While Akon City, at this stage at least, lacks the lush river valleys and jagged mountain ranges, with a $6 billion budget, there's certainly room to make some rather dramatic landscaping changes. If Dubai can create its own palm tree-shaped islands, then Akon can instruct KE International, the American consulting and engineering firm behind the project, to feature lush greenery, flowing rivers, and perhaps even a giant panther statue overlooking the city. For those that grew up in the 2000s, listening to Akon's embracing R&B and hip-hop tracks on repeat, there were few catchier tunes than Freedom, Smack That, and Sorry Blame It On Me. However, after considerable time in the shadows, the Akon name isn't as well known as it used to be. While he continued to produce over the last decade, his career arguably peaked in 2006 with the release of his second album, the Grammy-nominated Convicted. These days, Akon now considers himself a businessman first and a musician second, always trying to put his $80 million to good use. As he told Al Jazeera, "I'm in a position where I'm gifted. I'm in a place where I've been offered opportunities where I can make a difference and change lives. So why not change lives and make money at the same time?" Hats off to that. He owns a clothing line based out of New York City, and as we touched on earlier, an African solar lighting company. Called Akon Lighting Africa, the business aims to make solar energy widely accessible in Africa. Since launching in 2014, the operation is spread to 14 nations, including Guinea, Senegal, Mali, Niger, Benin, and Sierra Leone. Then there's the South African diamond mine, and while backlash for the industry is well noted, Akon has stated that he is adamantly against blood diamonds, even donating his business's profits to local communities. Like a handful of other big names, Akon copped some serious media coverage for his consideration to run for US president in the 2020 election, but that was a short-lived idea. Anyway, back to the city project, the concept first gained traction back in 2018. 2 years later, in January of 2020, Akon met with Senegalese government officials to finalize the agreement. At that point, Wakanda had everything in place to become reality. Akon's plans are to build near the village of Imbadine, right about here, just a short drive from the Senegalese capital of Dakar and the state's new international airport. The town will initially cover some 55 hectares, or 135 acres, but grow to 500 hectares, or 1,235 acres by the end of the decade. If all goes to plan, it'll boast artificial islands and a marina with room for world-traveling cruise ships to dock. On September 1st,
hey, that's gonna be fire, y'all. I hope all this comes together.
2020, Akon laid down the first stone of the $6 billion city. Tragically, this came just 4 days after the heartbreaking passing of Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman.
man.
Now, the Wakanda-inspired Akon City serves another important purpose. The city, whether officially or unofficially, will now act as a powerful tribute and memorial to the beloved fallen actor. As for the cost of living, we have to imagine that, compared with the US at least, it'd be extremely cheap. Consumer prices in Dakar are 49% lower than in New York, and renting a one-bedroom apartment at just $586 per month is 82% cheaper than the Big Apple. Despite the relatively low cost,
How much?
than in New York, and renting a one-bedroom apartment at just $586 per month is 82% cheaper than the Big Apple. Despite the relatively low costs, the environment is still poised to be chock full of futuristic luxury. Of course, building an entire civilization doesn't come cheap. The $6 billion needs to be put to good use. Hundreds of millions will be spent on construction. Likewise, on developing and implementing the novel cryptocurrency. Hundreds of millions more will go into building public transport, landscaping, importing materials, and covering staff costs. Not to mention the marketing. Solar power installers typically charge around $1 per watt for their labor. To power a whole city, well, we're talking big numbers. If we look at New York again, the American metropolis uses 11 billion watts per day. You do the math. The city's Phase 1, which deals with most of the construction, is expected to be completed before the end of 2023. Phase 2, which focuses on implementing the Akon cryptocurrency, will run from 2024 to 2029. Could you see yourself living there? Using cryptocurrency every day? It won't be hard to find work, that's for sure. Thousands of jobs would need to be filled. Doctors, chefs, drivers, teachers, builders, and everything in between. In an ideal world, Akon has stated that they intend to scale the concept even further, expanding to all the other countries in Africa so all the cities are connected. But as it turns out, Akon isn't the only celebrity putting plans in place to revitalize the African economy. British actor Idris Elba intends to build an ecotourism complex on an island off Sierra Leone. Clearly, there's a lot to look forward to, and we can't wait to see the result. But before we wrap things up, we at The Richest just want to take this opportunity to pay our respects to Chadwick Boseman. The cherished, supremely talented actor was an inspiration to many and was taken far too soon. Chadwick, we'll miss you. Wakanda forever.
And as you can see, I am not dead.
So, could you actually picture yourself in Akon City, raising a family there? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Catch you next time.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Like, definitely, bro. Like, I'm moving there. As soon as it's all, I'm there. Wakanda forever. You hear me? Look, man, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. My commentary. Like, this was very, very, very interesting. Like, it's dope to see kind of like the plans and everything. Akon's like the time. It even gave us the timing on what years this and this is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Worked on. Like, this is dope. This was a really good video, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction, my commentary. If you did, smash that like, guys. Sub to the channel, man. Stay tuned for my next one, y'all. Peace.
Hey, the beat go off? Hey.